Welcome to the High Rankings podcast, brought to you by Dispensary-Growth, the preeminent SEO agency for dispensaries. Each episode will dive into the world of search engine optimization for cannabis dispensaries. We'll discuss the latest strategies and tactics to help your dispensary rank higher on search engines and attract more patients and customers. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, join us as we explore how to maximize your online presence and stay ahead of the competition in the rapidly growing cannabis industry.
Hello, and welcome back to episode 67 of the High Rankings podcast with your fabulous host.
This guy.
No S. Me.
This guy.
As. And then the other guy. Where are we? We are mid-July. Can you believe that already? Crazy. We are mid-July. We are well into summer, which I don't know about you, but it's been pretty bad down here.
It's been grossly hot here in Denver. I think Florida weather in general to me is just gross. But here in Denver, it is just like at night, it's like almost 80 degrees and it's just disgusting. Luckily, that's passed. That was like last weekend. Yeah, it is just absolutely atrocious.
It's pretty miserable here. Although because we're in summer, obviously now we get rain every day pretty much. So that kind of helps, but it's the humidity is special. That I can tell you.
Does it make your hair frizz?
Not really. I know a lot of people do have that issue. For me, not really. I mean, my hair is mostly straight anyway, so no, not particularly. But yeah, I have heard that people do deal with
My mom's
that.
hair frizzes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, mine. Well, I wear a hat now, but
honestly, a lot of days in the summer, particularly, I will put my hair up just because it's so hot. You want it out of your face. And if I'm on a boat, I'm wearing a baseball hat like almost all the time. So yeah. So anyway, what's new? What have you been up to?
So last week I went to Winter Park.
Yeah.
Went to Trestle. So my buddy Joe, you met Joe in Chicago. Cool dude. He's best friend. He was in from Traverse City. He's run in from Michigan and he brought his bike. So we both bike, we both play hockey, and that's basically how we met, was playing hockey. So he brought his bike in and he said, "Hey, I've got 3 buddies from Arizona coming out to Colorado to ride Trestle." And I was like, "Well, let's go, let's do it." So I buzz up there. To me, it's only it's less than an hour and a half. And Joe, we had scheduled 2 days to ride. So it was a Thursday and Friday. I went up Wednesday night so I can check in at 4. He came up later that Wednesday. So he crashed at my place. And then his 3 buddies from Arizona came in early Thursday morning. So we get checked in and everything. And man, we rode this is that Thursday. We rode from 10 a.m. when the lift opens, the gondola opens, to 4:30. And when you're doing, so what is that, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 hours. We stopped for lunch for like half hour, grab some tacos. I mean, I was gassed. I mean, my body was smoked. That many hours of downhill, I know I'm complaining right now, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, it smokes your arms. And like my hands are still sore just from, white knuckling for so long. It's like death grip, on your handlebars. Yeah, so we did that. That was a lot of fun. Joe had a crash. I ran into a tree. I fell off a rock. My handlebars, I'm fine. I kind of tweaked my wrist again when I fell, but it's not going to get any worse. The bone is broken. You can't break the bone any worse. So yeah. And then Joe had a crash right in front of me, which was, dude, like you see your best friend go down like that. You're like, what the, it kind of rattles you for a second. We had to pull him off the trail, because we're on a, pretty fast, actually a really fast trail. We're in a pretty open area, but he did the worst thing. And I've done it. I've actually fallen. I've crashed on that same jump. So you're going so fast. You're going, 20, 25, 30 miles an hour. And you come to a jump and there's a sign that says there's a jump coming, like an orange sign, hey, be ready. But the worst thing to do is slam on the brakes at the last second. Like you don't commit to it. And he slammed on his brakes and he rolled off the top. I was like, oh, fuck. And I almost hit him and I had to swoop to the right side. So he fell on the shoulder. He thinks he got a mild concussion. So I had to pull him off the trail, pick up the bike, run it off the trail, and make sure there's nobody behind us because that, it can cause a pileup when you're going that fast.
Yeah.
And Yeah, so he was fine. He was covered in dirt. He was just pissed because he didn't commit to the jump. So it's just like, it's scary when you're going that fast, you're on a bike and, you have a jump in front of you and you don't know what's behind it. Like, it's fucking scary. So he was fine. That was Thursday. Yeah. So Friday, I left early. I was like, my body right now is just blasted. I woke up so sore. Plus, I don't really sleep in
Getting
general.
old, fam. You're getting old.
Yeah, that too. And I don't sleep. I don't sleep in general. And I slept, like, I told my girlfriend Austin, like, I rode almost twice as much as I slept. Like, I slept 2 hours that first night, maybe 3 hours the next night. Yeah, like I rode like literally twice as much time as I slept, which I was kind of a zombie on Friday. So yeah, I rode and I got back. The first thing I did Saturday morning was just took the bike right into the bike shop. The guys, just do your thing, clean it up. I blew out a couple spokes when I hit that tree. I think the brakes were kind of gassed too. I think they might have tweaked the brakes on it. I don't know. So anyway, they did their thing on the bike. I got it back last night. Feels awesome. I like to buzz up there again this weekend. It was awesome. Just like, the six of us, we got to dinner. They drove 12 hours from Arizona. It was cool. It was like a guy's night for like, well, for me, it was just that one night, but it was cool to all ride and trestle and, just kind of do our thing. One of them is really, he's like, we called him a jockey. He's like 5'5", but he's like super athletic. He has like no body fat. He's a firefighter in Arizona. He's a badass, and he was ripping. He's really good. So it's pretty cool to see him, just like a different riding style. Doing the same thing, just different riding style.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. Could have been disastrous. When I saw that tree, I was like, oh, okay. I hit it, but it could have been a lot worse. Yeah, so narrowly escaped that. And yeah, I'm in one piece still. The bike is in one piece, so all was good.
Well, yeah, luckily, because we all know what happened last time.
Yeah. So they had asked me, like, dude, like, what happened? We saw the pictures. Joe told us the story. And I kind of told him, like, oh, man. I was going like 30 when I crashed and flipped over bars and fell on rocks. And like, so I was showing them pictures. I told him I texted you. You thought I was like messing around with you. And they laughed. We all laughed.
We all laughed.
Yeah, so that was about it. So then, yeah, I come back to Denver and it's like 85 degrees at night. I'm like, I should have just stayed in Winter Park. It's like nice and that crisp mountain air,
Yeah.
Yeah, just come back to Denver right in the middle of this heat wave. So anyway, I had poopy pants for like 2 nights, but I'm over it now.
Wow, that sounds great.
What did you do, Casbox?
So Saturday we went out on the boat with my husband's best friend and his girlfriend. I'm not sure because they both had rings on their fingers, but I would have assumed if they'd have got married, we'd have known.
Your husband's girlfriend? Oh, his best friend.
No, his best friend's girlfriend. Anyway, went out on the boat. It's scallop season, so we went scalloping, and then we found another huge pod of dolphins. I think I've said this before on the pod that my husband and I can almost predict now when we're going to see dolphins based on the water, how calm it is. And the weather. So we knew going out, we were like, yeah, we call it dolphin weather. Like, you just know. And we were scalloping, and off in the distance, I had seen some fins, and I was like, there they are. So we took a slow troll over there and just hung out with them for a while. Got some gorgeous video of them swimming. So that was Saturday. And then Sunday was my friend's birthday. So we went out and had dinner with a small group of us, had dinner for her birthday. So that was pretty much it. Do you find that you always tend to go to the same restaurants?
I mean,
that you have your favorites that you kind of.
I have favorites. There's like favorite pizza place.
Yeah.
Near downtown Denver. I have like a favorite place in Cherry Creek, which is, I didn't take you to that restaurant, but I took you near it. But yeah, it's like a nice. So yes, I have like a handful of favorites.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I live very close to Tampa, so there is no shortage of restaurants. Like, there's so many, I never get to them all. But we just find ourselves going back to the same ones. And I think it's because you just know what you're going to get there. Like, the quality type of food. And like last Wednesday, I had gone out and had dinner with my aunts at this restaurant that's downtown in my town. And it had been in a different location with mostly a different menu and a different chef. And then somebody basically bought it, moved it downtown, changed a lot of the menu, which I was disappointed at in first because my favorite dish from the menu in the original location has gone. So I was kind of bummed about that. But then like they've just really changed up the menu a lot, and they have this incredible butter chicken. And it's not an Indian restaurant per se. I think it's more of like a fusion type deal. But then I find myself getting the same thing every time I go to the restaurants because I'm one of those people that like if I know the meal's good, why am I gonna like try something else if I know for sure I like this? I don't know. I'm one of those people. But then we went to a restaurant that we've been to a few times now. I think this was our third or fourth time at this restaurant, and the food's always phenomenal. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's really good. So pretty much that's what we did. I'm very excited because I get to see you soon-ish.
Yes, and Hilton. And by the way, let me back up real quick. When you go to those same restaurants, are you a booth person or it's like a regular table or a bar person? You sit at the bar?
I'm definitely not a bar person. I just find it if you've got more than 2 people, I find that it's hard to really communicate very well.
Yeah.
I think I like a booth. I think a booth is a little bit more private, but
Yeah.
I'm
I'm a
not
booth
super,
person
super
through and
picky.
through.
Yeah, if I had a choice, I would pick a booth, but I'm not gonna like lose my mind if I don't get a booth. So
Okay. Yeah,
um
I will wait for a booth. I like the privacy, and my back is kind of fucked from biking.
yeah,
I can sit like diagonal, like in the corner in a booth,
yeah,
that move. Yeah, I do that. I prefer booth I mean, if I go to like one of my favorite restaurants here in Denver and there's no booths available, like if I could sit down now, I'll take a table. But I mean, I prefer a booth. Much more
yeah.
comfortable, and
Yeah,
you don't have
no.
a bunch of bullshit going on around you.
Yeah. So when I went out for dinner on Wednesday, we had a booth, and then on Sunday it was like a half booth, half table type thing. But there was a group of us, so it kind of made sense. But anyway, I am very excited that we are finalizing our plans for soon, so we can finally get to hang out. I'm excited.
Yes, that will be. I can't. When is the last time we?
Do you
It's
know,
been
I
what
was
was it?
talking to my
Last
husband
calendar
about
year.
this. The last time I saw you, you came here, and I want to say it was 2020. I think that's the last time like we were physically in the same place at the same time.
No, 2021, because that's when flights opened up in Florida. Well, not the Florida, they're really close, but it was like 2021 because I remember we were with Anthony and it was for your
Yeah.
birthday, and the flight was delayed like 6 hours. we
So
got
then it's
absolutely,
been
we
so
got
then it's been
absolutely
3 years?
crippled in
I
that
thought it was
in
4
that
years.
airport lounge. There's an open bar in this lounge. We got absolutely bundled. I'm surprised TSA even let us on. Yeah, but we got in at like 3 a.m.
It'll be like 3.5 years then by the time like we finally get to hang out. But I'm very
Yeah.
excited because I love Savannah. It's such a beautiful city. And I was just there like in June, but I am very excited. Also, I have researched, I'm going to send you a link for one of the places that I've researched for us to go. And then the hotel that I want to stay in, they have a rooftop bar in that hotel. They have a bunch of them in hotels along the river, but that one does have a rooftop bar. And then, well, I guess we can talk offline. I'm just very excited. I'm like, ooh, finally, I get to see you after however long it's been, and I get to meet your girlfriend for the first time. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, so we're excited. She's super excited. She's like, I can't wait to talk about F1 and Carlos Sainz and books and whatever author. Like, I don't know. All right, yeah, you guys do your thing. But yeah, she's super excited. She's like, yeah, I can't wait to meet her. I was like, no, she's not that cool. Like,
It's funny because she and I have like a lot of things in common. Like, think about it, we have like a lot of things in common, except I don't like you and she does. So, like,
she goes, I cannot wait to meet her. She sounds so awesome. You talk about her all the time. I was like, no, she's not that cool. Like, she just really isn't. So don't have any expectations. And of course, I was just fucking around and she laughed. But no, she's super excited. We're super excited. Should be a fun trip. And she said that she mentioned a ghost tour.
Yes, that's the link I'm going to send you. I found one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I found one of the highest ranking ones. I found that. And there's also this restaurant that we don't have to go to it, but the last few years I've been, we keep saying how we need to go. I think it's like the oldest restaurant in Savannah.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah, I'll send you the link to that too. But yeah, I'm super excited. And yeah, so that's coming up. So I'm excited about that. What else? I think that's all that's going on in my life.
I can't get over this heat. I cannot get over this heat. I hope it's done. And I've got poopy pants also just because I'm high up in my building and just the heat. It's and at night I can't sleep. It's just brutal.
Yeah.
Last night my room was about 68, 67. So I got actually decent sleep last night. But when it's hot, I just can't. I have enough trouble as it is when a room is cold. But when it's hot, it's just disgusting. And I
But
have
when
my
you go into the
AC
mountains,
blasting.
it's colder, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I don't know what it is. It's, I don't know, like a new bed, and I don't know. I've done my sleep study. I guess we have to review the analytics here in a couple of weeks, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I get one of those CPAP machines because I'll try it. I'm not excited to try a CPAP machine, but I'll try it.
Listen, at this point, you should be willing to try anything.
Yeah, like if it helps, it helps, right? I don't want to have a glass of wine every single night for the rest of my life to get like, I don't want that to be a crutch.
What about like a gummy though?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, I don't want that to be a crutch. I did it for a little bit, and yeah, like within an hour, I'm on a different planet, but I don't want that to be a crutch.
Right, I understand. I fully understand. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we should talk about what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, what are we talking about? What are we here to talk about?
Well, actually, before we do that, because I did forget it one episode, we need to talk about what's vexing me.
Okay.
Do you want to know what really gets on my nerves?
Everything.
People that don't put their shopping cart back. Like, seriously, you're really that fucking lazy that you can't walk 15 steps and put it in a corral or take it back to the store. Like, honestly. Now, there are exceptions to this rule. If you have a small child that you can't leave unattended in a vehicle, completely understand. If you have a disability of some variety, completely understand. Or if you're a girl and there's some weirdo lurking around and you just want to get in your car and drive off, totally understand. Any other reason is because you're lazy. Like, just put the cart back. Like, how hard is it to put the cart back? Which makes me think, like, the rest of your life. Do you know what I mean? How lazy are you in the rest of your life? What else are you not doing that you could be doing or should be doing? Like,
what else do you think someone, like, do you think when they go to, somebody doesn't return their cart, do you think when they go to Chipotle, they put those baskets back on that?
Oh, no. Here's a straight fact. If you're not putting your cart back, you're not clearing your table at like Chipotle or Panera or something. Yeah. You're also the kind of asshole that leaves your shit lying around after the movies. You know, like you leave your popcorn bucket somewhere, or you're that kind of person. You're not cleaning your table. You're not making your bed. You're probably the kind of person that doesn't respect the fact that the restaurant's really busy and someone's waiting for your table. And so you just leave your shit on the table. For sure. You're that kind of person. Don't pick up your dog shit when the dog shit's on the floor outside. I have this thing on the dog's leash and it holds all the poo bags. So it's always on the leash. So when you take her out, like the poo bag's on there. Do you know what it is? And this might be taking it too far, but we're on the subject. I think the thing about returning a shopping cart, right, is that it's all on you, right? Yeah. No one's there to be like, you must put the shopping cart back. It's on you. It's like self-governance, right? It's a you thing. So I think that the people that don't put the shopping cart back are the kind of people that, you know how you say, like, you know someone's your friend because what they say to you, to your face, is exactly the same thing that they'll say in a room full of people when you're not there?
Yeah, I get that.
Shopping cart people, that's not them.
What do you think
that's
they say?
That's not them. They leave their trash everywhere. They don't make their bed in the morning. They don't pick after their dog poo. And also, they'll be the first ones complaining when they walk into Target or Walmart or wherever and there aren't no carts available.
Have you actually watched somebody just like...
all the time. All the time.
Well, I shouldn't generalize it. I was just going to say you're in Florida.
It doesn't matter where you are. It happens all the time. This is why we need to go to the European/Aldi system of the 25 cents. Because if you have people so the reason that Aldi do it, I believe, is to basically cut down on the cost of not needing a cart person, allegedly. So it's just you put 25 cents into the cart and then it releases the cart. And then when you take the cart back, you get your 25 cents back. That system has been in Europe for I don't know how long. A lot of, if not most of, grocery stores now, that's how you deal with your cart. It's in England, it's a pound coin, but whatever, principle's the same, right? It's really common because that way people are inclined to get their money back. That's how we need to go over here, because people over here are lazy and they don't care about other people. You just
That's true. I think a lot of entitlement too. Like, I don't have to do that.
You know the worst offenders, the worst people are the ones who park their cart in the gap between, say there's 4 parking spaces, 2 cars facing the other 2 cars, right? They'll put their shopping cart right in the middle of those 4 cars. In the middle of the car park, like in the middle of the car park, in the middle of the 4 cars. So all it's going to take is a wind and it will blow the car and it will ding somebody else's car.
Yeah. That's pretty shitty.
Yeah. So basically what I'm telling you is if you don't put your cart back, you're lazy and I'm judging you. And I wondered to myself, what else are you not doing?
I will say I do not make my bed in the morning. I actually prefer I made it last night before I went to bed, but I don't make my bed in the morning. I don't know if that's something I should self-proclaim or not, but it's out there.
Some people specifically don't make their bed because they want to air it out, and I understand that philosophy. And if that's your reason, then that's fine. But if it's just because you're lazy, then that's not fine.
No, first thing I do in the morning, I pound some water and then I go hop on the stationary bike, just fucking pedal as hard as I can for 20 minutes. But I get the thing about making your bed in the morning, not to get off track, but I do get it. I've tried it. Didn't really make a difference.
I make my bed.
Yeah.
I have a very specific morning routine. So I
do too. It just doesn't involve making a bed. It involves getting on a bike and pedaling as hard as I can. But anyway.
Mine is take care of all of the animals, wash all their dishes, empty the dishwasher, open the curtains, turn on the wax melt. I have a whole system in the morning. Anyway, right, that is enough bullshit talk for now. If anyone's still listening, I'd be really surprised. I did promise that we were going to do a What's Vexing Me segment, and I don't want to forget. So today it's shopping carts, you lazy. Anyway, episode 67.
What are we talking about? What is
We are talking about the importance of rank tracking in terms of SEO, obviously. That's what this episode is on today. Rank tracking. How to track your rank, why you should track your rank, how important it is to track your rank. So, track your rank? Yeah. Wow. That's,
rank tracking. Yeah.
I'm going to say that the wrong way around. I'm going to say tank racking or something at some point. So what is rank tracking then?
Rank tracking, simply put, is monitoring a website's search performance for specific keywords over specific time.
Okay. Why is it important that we track that?
So it's important to track because if you're actively doing SEO, even just a little bit, maybe a blog post once a week or doing a city page here and there for your locations, it's important to see if it's even working, if you're using the right keywords, if people are finding you, and if it's yielding some sort of result, right? Otherwise, you're just wasting time. And if you're just wasting time, your competitors are just capitalizing off of you.
I mean, that does make sense. You need to make sure that you're keeping track of how much share that you have. So that makes sense. Okay. So we've explained what it is. We've explained how important it is. But obviously, we need to go over the benefits of doing it. Why do we do it? And then we'll go into how often and everything like that. So obviously, one of the benefits of doing it is that you know how well you're doing in your job, right? Mm-hmm. You know how well, if the work that you're putting in is paying off. So obviously, you're keeping a tab on how well your strategy is working or it's not working. And if it's not working, then obviously you can re-optimize the page or tweak something or maybe do some A/B testing or something like that. So obviously that's the pretty big benefit of doing it. And then another reason or another benefit would be kind of in parallel to how well your strategy is working is okay, so I know it's working for me, but how is that when I put myself up against my local competitor? Am I stealing their traffic? Is my page ranking theirs? Or if it's not ranking theirs, am I at least eating away at some of their traffic? How well your strategy is stacking up against your competition. And it may be that your competitor is just huge and they've had a really great SEO strategy for a long time and they're just eating at that share. And it's take you a while to be able to really take a chunk out of what they have. Or it could be that they're not so hot and you can start stealing their traffic immediately. But once you start analyzing it, you'll be able to obviously figure out where you sit compared to them. Another thing is you can find out how well your keywords research is. You can figure out what keywords that you researched, found, and included in your content, how well they're performing. Or if any of those keywords aren't performing, do you need to take another look at how you do your keyword research? They're really performing well. You know that your research analyst, whoever's doing that for you, is doing a bang up job, because not only are you going to check your ranking when you're analyzing where you're sitting, but you're going to be seeing what keywords you're ranking for. So, obviously understanding how well you're doing your research, that's another benefit. Because sometimes, I know from personal experience, sometimes I've had to tweak the way I do my research, or obviously you use multiple things when you're doing keyword research, which you can go back and listen to a podcast many moons ago that we did on keyword research. But you can't just rely on one thing. You can't just rely on SEMrush or AH. Right. It's got to be a multi-pronged thing. So that's for sure. And then
how would you start that? I'm going to jump in. How would you start that process? Would you say purple weed, like we always use that example because it's really high volume. It's good volume.
Yeah.
You want to rank for that. Your competitors, just say, are ranking for that. How would you start that process?
Of seeing who's ranking for it? I'm sorry.
Yeah. If you want to rank for it, but your competitors already ranking for it, so you are not, how would you start that process? And how do you even determine how they are ranking for in the first place? So in this case, rank tracking, how would you start the whole thing? Just in simple terms.
I would open up SEMrush. Are you talking about a specific keyword?
Yeah. So let's just say purple weed.
Okay. So I would open up SEMrush and I would go to my competitor's domain and I would see what they're ranking for and where purple weed sits in their ranking keywords. That's the first thing I would do. So I'm literally doing it as I talk to you so I can talk my way through it. So I would type them in. I would go down to organic research to their top organic words and I would view the details. And I would see, okay, I'm not going to name the client that this is, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Within the top 5 organic keywords, they have Girl Scout cookie strain. So I know for a fact that that's one of their better performing keywords. So if, for example, ABC client has purple weed in that spot, I know for a fact that I want to steal that traffic. Mine's not higher, if that makes sense.
There's great tools, SEMrush, partial SEMrush or Ahrefs. Our analyst showed me how she does comparative. You take here's my domain, www.dispensary.com, and then 3 other dispensary.com, 3 other competitors. What do you call it? A comparative analysis?
Competitive analysis, yeah.
Yeah, that, or a gap analysis. So, and then you can plug in a keyword that you want to rank for. You can see you relative to your local competitors, where in that competitive landscape does purple weed sit? And then you can come up. It would actually shed some light. So if one of your competitors is ranking for it, you can just go to the page, a blog post or whatever it is, or a landing page. And okay, is it in their H1? Is it in their title tag? Is it in their meta description? Hopefully it is. It's very basic stuff. But if it's not, then you know what you can focus on and you can benchmark. SEMrush has a rank tracker tool, pretty easy to use. Plug in your keyword that you want to use and then keep an eye on it and then benchmark it and then do your blog post, landing page, whatever it is, catered to that keyword, have your ancillary keywords in that content, and then you can make the content and then you can target backlinks there and then you can track that performance. And that ranking tool in SEMrush, I'm partial to SEMrush because that's what I learned on, but whatever tool that you choose, that makes it a lot easier to do it. So yeah, you're 100%, and you're much better at research than I am, just because I joke that I said the word creeper, but you're very sleuthy. So you're much better at research than I am, and that's a good way of doing it.
I will say there's not much that I can't find. So be warned.
No, there is not. No, that is 100% true.
Don't upset. No, I'm kidding. It's just amazing what's out there. But that just goes to show. Yeah. That just goes to show that there's more than one way to skin a cat. Do you know what I mean? Neither of us is wrong. We would just potentially go about it in a different way, but then probably circle back and do the other way as well. There's definitely more than one way to approach keyword research, which is why I was saying about the benefit of understanding if your way of doing keyword research is the best way in terms of, okay, how am I ranking for this? Maybe I need to change up how I'm doing keyword research or add another, way of doing it or something else. Because you can't continue to do it the same way forever. You will have to change it up here and there. So, yeah.
Right.
So then In terms of ranking it, obviously we're going to use SEMrush or Ahrefs, Google Analytics, Google Search Console. Is there anything else?
As far as tools?
As far as like what would you use for tracking your ranking?
The tools that I use, I mean, they're basically what you just mentioned. I've tried Google Analytics because you want to monitor the URL and page that you deployed targeting that specific keyword. Google Search Console to make sure that that page is indexing correctly and getting the right queries and everything. SEMrush, because there is a good rank tracking tool on that platform, and then you can run your competitive analysis, who in your local 10-mile radius is ranking for what. That tells you, and then you can get email updates. And I've used a tool called Rank Tracker. It's pretty cool, but I'm so partial to SEMrush and just keeping an eye on your competitors. That gap analysis tool is very handy. I like that. So a mix of that stack, I guess you could say, using that stack, and of course, just using Google, you'll get the results. If assuming that all of your keyword research and all of that, your domain authority and everything is tip top, you will get results that way.
Perfect. So with that in mind, is there anything specific that you have to do in order to make sure that like you've put in, this is the bit where I don't know the back end very well, but I know with like Google Analytics, you have to put in some kind of coding on your website, right? For that to be able to track certain things. Is that necessary for any of those tools on the back end when you're trying to track the ranks?
So you can have UTM tags in the URL. So you can do that. That's like a medium source. I mean, yeah, that helps. But as far as like certain like pixels or anything, no, just keep an eye on the URL. You can do a content drill down. So like if it's a blog or like a state page or a city page or like a category or a brand page or whatever that is, just keep an eye on those. And you can have like a custom dash too in Google Analytics where when you pull up Google Analytics, I guess it'd be Looker Studio. Either way, you can have that data ready for you like really, really quick. And you should monitor it every day. If you're serious about SEO, like ranking your dispensary, getting more customers, you should monitor that every day. So that, yeah, I mean, that's the best way to do it.
That's a lot though, every day.
Okay, if you weigh yourself every day, and when you're serious, like you're committed to your health,
you
right?
should not do that. No, there's theories about
you should not. What?
No,
I don't believe that. That's what I did. Well, when I was lifting, and I look like a farm animal now, but back when I was lifting and eating better, and I would weigh myself every morning because there was like incremental progress, but I knew I was making progress.
I think it's very dependent on the person. So when I said every day, that seems like in principle, it makes sense. But are you going to see a massive difference in ranking from day to day? Or is a month-long picture more going to give you... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can go like every couple days. I mean, I did it every day just because I'm obsessive, but I would look at it every day. And if not, I'd read Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then like Tuesday, Thursday, you can get like an audit sent to your email. But yeah, I would check it every day, and then check your competitors as well. So you'll see like some increase, and eventually as your domain authority increases, you'll see the results sharper. The results will be sharper as your domain.
Do you feel like when you first put up the blog post, right, for whichever keyword it is you're doing, that like that would be perhaps maybe more when you're going to check it every day. But the further away that you are from that blog post, say you did that blog post like 3 months ago, and you've obviously put up a shit ton of other blog posts since then, do you feel like checking it that frequently becomes like less important, or does it stay as important?
It stays as, so like you're saying like the older the blog post is, I think not so much it's checking the same data, but through a different lens. So like more of a bird's eye view on it of like, is purple weed increasing, continued increase? Is it staying at the top? And you can look through that lens through the rank tracker on SEMrush.
Right.
That's what I look at least. Okay. And then more holistically, you can look at like the silo of the blog as a whole in Google Analytics. I think that answers the question, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it does. It's just as important. It doesn't matter how far removed away you are from that, basically. Yeah. Is there anything else we need to cover? Oh, okay.
No.
Quick question. I do have a question. This is definitely more you than me. What do you do if you see out of the blue a massive drop in your ranking?
I would identify the pages first. So through Google Analytics, through Search Console, was there a drop on like, again, let's just use the same blog post for like purple weed.
Yeah.
If that dropped, I would also look at your competitors and see if your competitors dropped. And if they both dropped, maybe it's like a market reaction. And if not, either way, I would still see how it dropped, try to figure out, you probably won't get a why for a while, but add in, optimize it. I would rerun that URL through SEMrush and see if there's any keywords that dropped and remove those keywords like from the content, completely from the content. Sometimes it doesn't index properly. And then I would add in the content. I would add in additional keywords, and then I would add in a couple page links in there. And then if there's any backlinks, anything signaling like bad signal toward that page, like a backlink, I would cut those and I would get that back up, sitemap and everything. And I would keep an eye on that.
Right.
For 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks, whatever it is. It could be an algorithm, Google doesn't like the content, algorithm update. If you check your competitors, you could get an answer there, but I would just monitor that. So I would revamp the content, see what it doesn't like, what it does like, it being Google, see what it likes, what it doesn't like, and optimize and then monitor that.
Fair enough.
I would monitor it every day, but that's just me because I'm kind of crazy, and then go from there.
Well, I mean, that's why I asked, because I guess if you monitor it every day and there's a big drop from one day to another, then something's happening. Whether it's something you've done or something in the market, something's happening.
Mm-hmm. I would just give Google what it wants, or more importantly, give your customers what they want. If they don't like that page, then eventually you can get rid of it. You can take it down. I wouldn't delete it. You can 301 it somewhere, or just revamp it to like a different keyword target.
Right. That makes sense to me. Yeah. I think that's it. I don't think we have anything else.
I think that covers it.
Well, all right then. I guess we'll close out for this week's episode. Are you doing anything exciting coming up?
I do want to go back to Trestle this week. I'm trying to get up there with Joe. Joe, he thinks he has a mild concussion. Oof, we'll see. I think he's, I mean, we were going pretty quick. He did crash pretty hard. So I'm going to try and get up to Trestle with a couple other buddies on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I had something with my girlfriend on Saturday. I can't remember what it was. Like planning out the trip, of course, to Savannah or Hilton Head, pardon me. Had something else planned, but yeah, just getting out. I got my bike back, Lola, as I call her. So I do want to get back out on that. What about you? Do you have anything this weekend?
I don't know. The weather's not looking that great. I know there's a Formula One race this weekend. It's Hungary. But I don't know because the weather's not looking that great. But I always say that, and we end up doing something. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, no, nothing at the moment, but I know for sure that we will. Yeah, we'll do something. Yeah. Just don't know what yet.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's end this episode. We'll be back next week with a whole new episode. And remember, you can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe, review, and we will be back in 7 more days.
Peace.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the High Rankings podcast, brought to you by Dispensary-Growth, the preeminent SEO agency for dispensaries. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found value in the insight and the tips we shared. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're feeling super generous, we would love it if you left us a review. If there's a specific topic you'd like us to cover in a future episode, or if you have any questions, you can go ahead and find us on LinkedIn or YouTube. We'll see you next time.